There are some really great VR titles available right now on multiple platforms, but 2019 is looking to be an especially exciting year for VR games. We're finally seeing a constant stream of high quality titles this year, so here are my top 10 upcoming VR games for 2019. I didn't want to keep making list videos on this channel, but there's no way I'm going to make videos on all these games right now, especially due to the lack of information. So here's another list video. These games will all be coming to different platforms, whether SteamVR, the Oculus Store, or the Oculus Store plus Quest, so I'll notate which platform the games have been announced for, and if there's any confirmed price, I'll add that as well. So let's get into it. Number 10, BATTLEWAKE.
Are ye brave enough to join the fray?
BATTLEWAKE is a pirate-themed ship-to-ship combat game by the guys behind Raw Data and Creed Rise to Glory. In this game, you'll have 13 available ships, different pirate lords with different abilities you can play as, and quite a few game modes as well. From a 20-mission single-player campaign with co-op support, PvP deathmatch, and a 10-player arcade deathmatch, BATTLEWAKE is looking to be a different style of VR game by a reputable developer, due to release in summer 2019. Number 9, DEFECTOR.
When to race and when to bluff.
Your will is strong, but I will wreak you soon.
Described as Mission Impossible but in VR by Polygon, this action spy thriller has you play as an undercover agent using various means of spy technology and cunning wits to survive certain death. The graphics look gorgeous and the world seems very well fleshed out and varied, due to release also in summer 2019. Number 8, ASGARD's Wrath.
You may be a god, but to become legend, you must do battle as mortal.
This game, to me at least, looks kind of like a God of War type game, but first person and in VR. You basically go on a mythical Norse adventure on a journey to become or utilize the powers as a mythological deity. The hand-to-hand combat looks very well executed and maybe will set up better experiences than the usual flailing around of the controllers quickly we see in other VR close combat games. Number 7, Dead and Buried 2. I gotta admit, I didn't really play much of the original Dead and Buried. I was busy playing mostly Echo VR and Pavlov, because Dead and Buried was a little simple. This looks to change here in Dead and Buried 2. The multiplayer looks to be the biggest appeal to me. I grew up playing Quake and Unreal Tournament, and the online multiplayer looks kind of like a VR Quake, just in a different setting. This is one to especially look out for because it's also getting a release for the Quest. I can imagine that the wireless nature of the Quest can really enhance one's experiences in a multiplayer shooter. Number 6, Journey of the Gods. Pretty much Legend of Zelda with the Wind Waker art style in VR. Swords, shields, crossbows, magic, and puzzles, as well as bosses. It's all here, and it looks pretty fun. If you've been immersed in any fantasy RPG as I have before, I can just imagine that same experience but being in VR. The premise being you are on a journey to fight back against an overwhelming evil force, so you're in search to utilize and gain the power of the gods. This is kind of a first of its kind in terms of a fully fledged RPG game like this, and I can't wait to see the game in its entirety. This is another game that's coming out for the Quest. Number 5, NOSTOS. Okay, so NOSTOS was announced for a 2019 release date, but given its most recent alpha showing, I'm guessing a late 2019 date or maybe even possibly later. It's more likely we'll see an alpha or beta within the year. However, NOSTOS does look extremely promising. It's looking to revolutionize VR MMORPGs. Right now we only have Orbis, which while great and is constantly improving, it's sort of like a me MMO, and certainly has its limitations. Really, all we have to go off so far are the visuals and some expected features, but if NOSTOS can take off and be successful, it does have potential to change everything. Number 4, STORMLAND. I've been excited about this game since its original announcement. A full sci-fi RPG. A group called the Tempest wrecked your metal body as well as all your buddies. From what we've seen, you're on a mission to explore the wasteland, rebuilding yourself, and fighting for survival along with buddies. This game also has co-op support, which sounds amazing given how fleshed out the world looks. Multiple critics have described STORMLAND as a system seller for VR, and it's looking to be a definite must-have for a VR owner. Number 3, No Man's Sky. We all know No Man's Sky's story. Extreme promises and underdelivery. That story is a developing one, however, as years of updates have brought No Man's Sky closer to its original image and surpassed it in many ways. I played quite a few hours of the No Man's Sky Next update, but always ended up maybe a little bit bored after a while. Staring at a screen, collecting minerals, and going to the next planet was fun, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of, well, a flat experience. Sean Murray's recent announcement that No Man's Sky is coming to VR instantly makes the game the largest VR game on the market, and the updates are still coming. A revamped multiplayer system is on its way, and I can just imagine looking at the world, entering new planets, and building a place, but in VR, and it sounds awesome. Number 2, Lone Echo 2.
How did we end up here?
You are the only person who calls me Jack.
Was that your way of saying you're going to miss me?
Anomaly detected.
So if you've ever played the original Lone Echo by Ready at Dawn, you'll know that the game was far ahead of its time. Releasing in 2017 is one of the best looking and controlling VR games ever. Not to mention its storyline that really had me immersed and had me jump, sweat, and rejoice multiple times. This game has gigantic potential to expand on the world and story created in the first, and I will guarantee that day one I will be in the world once again. Number 1, BONEWORKS. If this game is what it says it is, and if the game has an engaging story, BONEWORKS will change everything. But in VR, more than often, it's the gameplay that makes or breaks the title. And that's honestly where BONEWORKS makes its mark. Utilizing the full finger tracking and squeeze controllers of the Index, the raw gameplay and physics just look amazing. It doesn't surprise me that Valve momentarily put the BONEWORKS devs on their master list given their history of bringing in promising companies with promising technology. This is the game that I look at and easily am the most excited about, not just because I have an Index on the way, but the realism and what seems like endless possibilities of the way that you can engage in combat is very alluring to me. This is a title I definitely keep my eyes on no matter what PC VR system that you have. If we get an interesting story, the physics and interactions that we've seen in the demos and trailers, you can count on BONEWORKS being a benchmark for future AAA titles. Honorable mention, VADER Immortal.
Your task, a word of advice. Do not anger VADER.
So before people ask why I didn't include VADER Immortal in this list, it really seems like it's closer to the experience side of VR rather than a game. Of course, it does have some pretty awesome gameplay that we've seen, but it's much more a cinematic experience from what I've seen and from what I've heard. Nonetheless, it still looks like an amazing title in VR, and I mean technically it's on the list, it's just an honorable mention. I know Valve has a few titles on the way, as well as a game supposed to be coming in 2019, but we haven't had any confirmed word or information on that, so obviously I can't include it. Well, next week is Oculus Rift S and Quest time, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get the scoop on both of them, at least from me. Don't forget to comment and like this video, and if you're interested, come join my Discord server. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks, guys.